Welcome back to From the Clubhouse. Thanks, as I said earlier, when we chatted, myself and Clinton Dupree, chatted about what's happening in the world of cricket. Thanks for all of the previous emails and even Twitter activity. Love to hear from you. Please keep those coming, particularly if there's a question that you'd like to ask us. info@fromtheclubhouse.co.za. Time to welcome our first guest for the evening, Nabeal Dien, the General Manager of the Western Province Cricket Association, a regular face on the show from last season, and I always managed to get good value out of him. Always not scared to call a spade a shovel. Nabeal, good to have you back in studio for season 2.
Thank you.
I feel like we've reached a milestone to get to season 2.
Yeah, I think I'm very pleased that we've managed to keep this sustained. You understand me? And I just hope that this season will be better than last on the playing field as well as from the clubhouse.
Absolutely. You and I share that same plan. Let's talk a little bit about when we're a few days away from the new season, but let's talk a little bit about the season that has just passed. And let me put you on the spot straight away and say to you, I imagine that in and amongst all of the success stories from last season, there would have been some key learnings as well. Can I ask you to unpack some of those, both highlights and maybe a few lowlights and areas where we learned some hard lessons?
Yeah, I think maybe the place to start, yes, we've had some huge successes in the past season in areas that, if you can recall, when we discussed this, just a year ago, where our focus areas would be and what we'll produce from that. So, for example, at youth level, under 19 team, you understand me, was basically unbeaten, and won the national tournament. We had 4 players from there making the SA side, who are in India at the moment, and I see them all doing reasonably well there. So that was a highlight. Another highlight was our women's team that won everything on offer. The T20, the 50 over, as well as the Super 4s. And from there also 7 of those players, 4 in the national side, 3 in the emerging side. So for me that was really, really good, in terms of the Cobras, which is not my area really, but is more Andre Oudendaal's area, is they won two trophies as well, so that was good. And then I think when I talk about the key learnings is the first class team that Sabran belongs to, that you just spoke to now, before this, that side was in the process of learning. That side, we picked a lot of youngsters. There was a lot of combinations tried, and like he said, the side, I think, under the circumstances, did well. But from what they've taken out of last season, should stand them in good step to be title contenders this year. In terms of some of the experience that they gained and some of the people coming in. I think another big challenge for not only for cricket as a code, but I think for sport in general, is bringing more people into the game, but not necessarily having the facilities to provide them to play the game. Okay, and I think that's something that not only we as a federation must look at, but I think we need our city, we need our province, our local government, to look at how we can be innovative, right? And we don't necessarily all need turf wickets. We don't necessarily all need synthetic wickets, right? But there must be other ways to keep our kids playing, okay? And that is one of the initiatives we want to take this year, to grow the base of mini cricket, so we get tens of thousands of kids playing the game in an inexpensive way, and then to see how we can develop that without them having to get pitches right. So we got a concept that we're going to develop that you'll hear about a little further on, that we want to refer to as challenge cricket.
I'm going to bring my partner in here, Clinton Dupree. We were talking off air about transformation in the game, something we touched on, and I think it's probably going to be not so much a stuck record, but it's going to be a hot topic for many years to come. And I know that we were talking about the fact that transformation is not going to ever slip down the agenda. It shouldn't slip down the agenda.
I think it's actually escalated.
Precisely.
And just recently there was a transformation in Durban at Cricket South Africa, and there'll be a rollout plan which probably will be forthcoming very soon. I think Mr. Dien attended in Durban. Could you probably just share some of those details that was rolled out to at least the amateur managers and the CEOs at that conference?
Yeah, I think, look, there were a number of resolutions in 5 broad categories, you see. What we tend to do when we talk about transformation is we tend to look at the final product. So we look at the numbers on a playing field, when numbers in a team, that's what the media picks up on. That is also what generally the public picks up on in media. What we tend to forget is the components that lead up to getting that player on the field. Okay, that also has to transform, because we have a number of players, right, that goes right up to first class level. I would say almost to under 19 level. You know, where you have, I've used the Black African component, who could be 35%. Okay, but they reach franchise level, that's 2%. You know, that kind of thing. So we need to look at the whole picture and not just part of the picture. And one of the significant things that came out of at the Transformation Conference, which I must add, it still needs board ratification. So it's a resolution at the moment, it's a recommendation that must still go to board for ratification. And that is to increase the number of Black African players from under 13 level in provincial sides all the way up to the franchise. Okay? So what used to be one player on a franchise level will become two. What in the first class side, what used to be two, in fact it was one, it must now become three. And in all provincial youth teams will be 3 Black African players. Now we're saying 80% of the population, you understand me? And we're saying 3 places in a team. I think after 20 years of unity, I suppose there may be nothing wrong. I mean, we unambiguously support transformation at Western Province Cricket. There's no issue about that, okay? I think we need to get the formulas right. And I still believe that if we get the access and opportunity right, then that eventually will result in. But after 20 years, you can't use that argument anymore, because then what have we done for 20 years? You understand me? If we're saying that we need to get the base right, and then you'll see the results on the field. At this province, I think we've come a long way. You understand me? It's that particular component that has become the new focus of CSA, you know, and that's the Black African cricketer.
I think, Jeremy, this is actually a very interesting topic, and for our viewers out there that needs to understand about the transformation and the whole thrust behind it at the moment is that I think at another show we need to lengthen this debate, that we go into more detail once it's been rolled out and ratified at CSA, that everybody understands, because everybody believes that transformation is normally just about color. And I'm pretty sure, Mr. Dien, it's not only about color, it's about transforming in the different components. So where women's cricket is involved, women should administrate women's cricket. And am I touching on the right nerve there, or heading in the right way?
Yeah, I think you're saying, I said it right up front, that we tend to focus on a very narrow section of it, and that's the players, okay? It's not only that, it's even administration. You understand me? It's all, we have clubs, in the same way we must talk about transforming our clubs. We must talk about transforming a lot of our schools, you see, who don't necessarily have the capacity to administer. Right, so, you know, we should be having courses, we should be, you know, we should be doing things. It's not that we don't have them, right, but we must do it in a sustained way. I think politically, it's always very clever to say we ran 16 courses, and we had 500 candidates, okay, but where are they?
No one has come through.
Where are they? Okay, have they gone back to our clubs? We don't have a monitoring system. So, like you're saying, transformation is about upskilling our entire society. Okay, to levels where people who've had all the years, who are there already. That's what we need to do. And it's not a process, it's not a quick fix. Okay, and I think that's why there's a lot of frustration at the moment. The frustration is 20 years on. Can you show us what can you show us? And there is a lot that you can show. Okay, but then there's also a damn lot that we can't show.
I quite like the topic. In fact, I think that it's one of those really big pieces of meat that you can't just take one bite of.
I could get carried away in this conversation. That's the thing right here now, yeah.
It's not coming back to me why we had to get you back a few times last season, because there are so many different topics that we've got to talk through. I'm going to fast forward you into the 2013-2014 season, which hasn't even started yet. It's a few days away, but it hasn't even started yet, although I'm sure for you, you are well into it already. What, if I had to say to you, what are your key challenges? I mean, I know that there's a lot that you've got on your plate anyway, and you know, you've unpacked some of them already. But in terms of some of the key challenges, maybe there's some things you guys are looking forward to as a team for the coming season. Could you highlight maybe one or two for us?
Yeah, look, maybe I should mention now that I think it was very exciting for us yesterday when we announced Umpili Ramela as our first-class captain. Okay, so in terms of transformation, that's a big move, and it's definitely a guy who deserves it. You understand me? He deserves it. He's a very, very accomplished cricketer who's already played franchise cricket. That team, when you say that one of the key challenges is that we feel that team is now ready to go and try and get honours. Okay, a lot of it depends on what happens at Cobra's level. Okay, because that team, you remember, is basically those players can be called up at any time for higher honours. We then lose them and we've got to replace them from the bottom. Okay, that's the one thing. I think the other big issue is always going to be funding. I just spoke to you now about social programs. I spoke to you about a variety of things we need to do in our communities, and we don't have enough money to do it. You know, so getting sponsors, for me, you understand me, is a huge challenge. Finding more sponsors, whether they be little sponsors, whether it be for under 15 cricket or under 19 cricket or mini, whatever, or particular programs, particular tournaments, that every year, that is a challenge. Okay. Then I think also another challenge, and Clinton will understand this very well, is the need to grow our women's game. And you're only going to grow your women's game if you're going to grow your girls' game. Okay, so this year we've got 17 teams playing women's cricket, which is it's a massive achievement, you know, and I give some credit to the man on my right here for getting us there. But we also need to understand that if we've got 17 teams there, we should have 170 teams lower down at under 13, 15, 17 level to sustain that and to make it grow. So those are challenges. Now, in every component, those are challenges. In our umpires ranks at the moment, we've got 3 black African umpires out of 89. Okay, it's not good enough. That's a challenge. In our Scorers Association, we've got the same challenges. You see? So I say the challenges are immense. Okay, we like to talk about the few successes, which we can obviously be proud of. But myself as an administrator and the guys who work, you know, on the ground in getting this, we will always have challenges and we must face them head on. You know, because they're real, and we're not going to get most of them done anyway. But if we don't work towards getting them done, then we've lost the plot.
I don't doubt that you've got a really big task ahead of you and your team. I know that you're not going to do this on your own. Nabeal, Dien, the General Manager of the Western Province Cricket Association, thanks for your time. And I'm giving you fair warning now that we're going to have to get you back in. So don't be surprised when I call you. But thanks for your time and good luck for the coming season.
Thank you very much and good luck to the program.
Thank you.
Okay, I hope it goes from strength to strength.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. There we go. Nabeal Dien, the General Manager of the Western Province Cricket Association, talking to us here from the Clubhouse. We'll be right back after this commercial break.